Did you know the U.S. Air Force has a mysterious space plane that just landed after a record number of days in orbit? The plane, which kind of looks like a small space shuttle, landed on Earth Sunday at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida after 780 days, more than 2 years in orbit. It's the longest mission in this highly secretive military test program's history. Now, according to the Air Force, the crewless plane was used for experiments that could then be brought back to Earth for examination. The exact details of those experiments, those are a closely guarded secret.
Wow, not secret anymore. I want to know more about it.
It's something that the space community is fascinated by. It is, in essence, kind of a scaled-down version of what the space shuttle was, in the sense that it's a reusable winged craft. But it's obviously very different because the space shuttle could go to orbit for no more than about 2 weeks, maybe 16, 17 days. A 2-year mission is extraordinary. Clearly, it has some capability for solar power. Clearly, you don't have to worry about supporting human beings, so that changes the equation on keeping something aloft for so long. The big question is, what is it doing up there? Given the length of the mission, a lot of people are suggesting that it probably is something the Air Force is interested in using to create easily changeable, sort of modular, if you will, spy satellites. So spying seems to be the more logical conclusion in this case.
Spying on things in space or spying on things on Earth, do you think?
They're interested in what's going on Earth. And if you think about it, if you have a particular conflict in a particular place, you may or may not have resources in orbit already that are capable of getting the imagery that you want at that given moment. If you had a vehicle that you could launch quickly with sensors of various types, depending on what your situation is, that you could put in an ideal orbit to match a concern or a conflict, this would be something that perhaps the Air Force is interested in.
Some people are thinking maybe it's a weapon, a space bomber.
I'm kind of skeptical of the space bomber idea. We have plenty of ways of delivering weaponry without having to go to this length to have a reusable craft that comes back. I mean, after all, we have ICBMs that can do awful things without having to use a reusable craft. I think it's worth remembering that the space shuttle back in the 70s was originally designed as a partnership between the Pentagon and NASA. And the Pentagon wanted it to easily put satellites in orbit, spy satellites primarily. And, of course, NASA had other reasons to have it as well. But the shuttle retired, the Air Force kind of picked up the ball in this realm of reusable spacecraft and is trying to keep the flame alive on this capability.